Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Herbie's Community Cooking Corner for February 17th, 2026. Today, we are going to bring the restaurant to the kitchen, homemade Chick-Fil-A sandwiches. And this will be my first time actually doing these, but they are pretty straightforward, except for one aspect, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. So, first of all, we've got a fabulous crew helping us as always. First of all, we've got Jeanette, who is our host today and is also going to be our guest facilitator in April. So, looking forward to having her on board. And Diane is our streamer today, and maybe we can get her drafted into doing another presentation. She and Joe she actually did the talking, and we just got to get Joe on here, and he can help her out next time, I guess. I don't know, but as they taught us once how to make homemade Italian sausage, which is a very interesting process.
I don't know. We should get Diana to make supreme pizza.
Supreme pizza, okay. Anyway, so we got that, and once again in her web, I'm assuming she's in her web, is Heidi, aka Spider Woman. Good morning, Heidi.
Good morning, everybody.
How are things in the web?
They're warming up. They're going to get above freezing today again. Yay!
Hey, did the insects start to come out and play yet, or are you still having to eat freeze dried?
Freeze dried still.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, well, I know you'll be looking forward to some fresh ones come springtime. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, today we are going to make homemade Chick-fil-A sandwiches. First of all, I will just briefly comment on the Samoa cookie bars. They turned out pretty good, actually. Not quite like the original Samoas. The original Samoas do not have as thick of a shortbread base, so definitely is some differences, but not bad overall. So I might end up making those again. Okay, now let's talk about the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. So today we are going to need 2 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I'm actually going to do more than just the 2. 1 cup pickle juice, 1 cup milk, 1 egg, 1 cup flour, 2 tablespoons powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon onion powder, canola oil for frying, hamburger buns, and dill pickle slices, which of course are optional. But if you're wanting to be like a Chick-fil-A, you definitely need the dill pickles there. So what we are going to do now is first get our chicken and pickle juice ready, as we need to cut the chicken into thin slices and then bag it with the pickle juice. So as I wash my hands, we're going to talk about, so this is where things get interesting. Pickle juice was, well, a bit of a pickle to find. The Walmart one that I found was a gallon, and I'm not even sure if it was pure pickle juice, as it was definitely being marketed as a sports type drink. Very interesting. So, yeah, I found one from a different grocery store that was 16 ounces. It actually is a dill pickle juice. That doesn't just say pickle juice, but hopefully that does not matter too much. So the first thing we need to do is get our chicken breasts and get them sliced into...
The other thing you could do is recycle your pickle juice. So after you're done with your pickles, just save the juice.
Yep, and that is a good idea too. I didn't have any pickles on hand, but that is another way of definitely getting the pickle juice, is get the pickles as well. So, okay. I'm going to do several chicken breasts here because We can. So the chicken breasts, these are the boneless ones. How do I know they're chicken breasts? Well, they are very thick feeling, and I can tell there's about 3 in here. And it's the only chicken I have. I do have some chicken thighs that I need to use up, but they are currently stored in a Ziploc bag. So I'm just going to pierce the plastic wrap. There are also chicken breasts you can buy from your freezer section that are frozen instead if you'd rather do that, so you have more for later. So whatever floats your boat. Alright, I'm taking them out of the plastic tray, and I'm going to throw the tray away. So I'm going to just take my knife and cut them in half. And I think they're at a good enough thickness already that we can manage them as they are. So how I'm doing this with the knife is I am placing the chicken breast on the cutting board, and then just using the knife to kind of gauge where the halfway point is and sawing them in half. This is not an exact science, and that's perfectly fine. But just kind of use your hands to gauge what is half. And you could even, depending on the thickness of the chicken breast, some of these you could even cut again if you really wanted to, and make even thinner slices. But I'm going to kind of use my hand to flatten them out a little bit. And that should help make them thinner, and that in turn will not only be easier to eat, but easier to fry. Okay, do we have any questions on what I've done so far?
We do not have any raised hands.
All right. So I'm just using the palm of my hand. You can also do things like a meat mallet or whatever if you have that, and if you want to pound. I am just not a pounder myself, so. Okay. Now that we're done with that, now we will deal with our pickle juice and all that good stuff. So I am first of all washing my hands because we want all the raw meat to stuff off of them, as that's what we've been dealing with. And next we are going to get out the pickle juice. So the pickle juice comes in a gallon, well, not a gallon container. But how to describe the one I found is in a bottle with a little handle on it. So probably the easiest way to do this is to pour this directly into the bag. It says a cup, and as the glass goes flying into the sink, I'm sure if it's a little bit more than a cup, it's not going to be the end of the world, because I have no other use for this pickle juice anyway. So, unless I make more chicken sandwiches. So let's find this a bigger Ziploc. And, okay, I thought I had a gallon Ziploc. I'd rather use that. You can also use, if you don't have a Ziploc bag, a container. Oh, there's what I want. Okay. So I think what we're going to do is, I don't know if it matters which way we do things, put the chicken in first or the pickle juice. So I'm going to put the chicken in first. Let's get this out of the way. And I'm just placing it in the Ziploc bag. And now we can move our cutting board to the sink because we don't need it. What we do need, though, is our pickle juice. And I should have actually opened the pickle juice first before dealing with the raw meat. Okay, yes, because we do have a thing to put the pickle juice in. I wasn't sure if it had to be refrigerated or not, so I just played it safe and did that. But, if you're saving the juice from your pickles, you'll definitely want to refrigerate that. Okay, and we've got a stubborn plastic seal. There we go. So this is one of those plastic seals that has like the little pull top on one side. And you gotta use your fingernail to get underneath the second layer. And we're just pouring a bunch into the bag. Okay, I think that will do. So now the trick is, yeah, definitely smells like pickle juice, so that's good. Okay, I am now using the hand that does not have any raw meat on it to close the slider of the bag because we're going to be putting this in the fridge and I'm going to have to touch it again. So I don't want to contaminate anything. And indeed, we'll even put some soapy water on the outside of the bag just to be on the safe side. Okay, I'm now going to put this in the fridge where I know I can easily find it. And we're going to let it marinate for at least half an hour. So, hey Google, set timer for half an hour.
So you put the chicken in the bag, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And remember to raise your hand if you have any questions. But yes, the chicken is in the bag. The pickle juice is in the bag. I poured it over the chicken. You can do it in reverse if you prefer. It doesn't really matter. It's what you feel most comfortable doing. Okay,
You do have 2 raised hands.
I have 2 raised hands. All right, let me get this pickle juice stable first of all, and then I will get to you all. So just hang tight. Okay, as we get to our next set of ingredients in just a minute. All right, who have we got?
Diane has someone in Clubhouse.
All right.
Melissa, you may unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hi Herbie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so are you just putting the pickle juice, you put it inside the bag already?
Yes, we put the chicken and the pickle juice in the bag, and we're going to let it marinate
Oh.
for half an hour. It says to
Oh,
marinate
wow.
for between half an hour to an hour, but we should only need half an hour for this today.
And we're making the chicken breast today?
Yeah, we're making Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
Oh, Chick-fil-A, oh, okay.
All right.
Ooh.
Very good. All right. Who else do we
Ibrahim.
have?
Ibrahim,
Yes, sir.
Hey, so for me it does make sense to put in the chicken first, because if you put in the pickle juice and put too much pickle juice, you might cause a mess with everything spilling over the bag.
Yep. Well, it's such a narrow neck that I mean, if you're really, unless you're not good at pouring, you shouldn't make too much of a mess. But yes, the it's easier to tell too the ratio of pickle juice with the chicken. But if you have the chicken already in there, so that's another reason why I did
Yeah.
it that way.
And I don't know. Came lost a minute or so. Did you describe the pickle juice jar? Does it come in like just a regular jar? I've never had pickle juice without the pickles before.
Okay, so this pickle juice comes in a plastic bottle that has a little handle on it. So and it has like just a top on it, and you take the top off, and it has a plastic film when you open it for the first time. And
Okay.
that's basically what it looks like. Is if you get the juice. But I should have. I never even thought about just using the juice from a jar of pickles. Just pouring that out into the bag, which would be a little bit harder work. But it would definitely save a little bit of extra money and effort and all that too. So
Yep. Yeah, that's what I initially thought you were going to do. Because you probably have
the reason why I didn't think about it is because
jar.
that's
Yeah.
it's more water based, so it wouldn't be as concentrated as actual juice. So that's why it honestly
Yeah.
never even occurred to me that that might be sufficient, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Originally, I wasn't even going to get regular pickles because I'm the only one that eats them. So that was also a factor too. All right, very good. Okay, anybody else?
Well, more pickles
No,
for you, Herbie.
excuse me. Are you asking for permission to speak? Because we do raise hands in this call. You may speak because we don't have anyone, but if you could raise your hand, that would be helpful.
Yep. All right, so go ahead, Celeste. Uh-oh. All right. So,
Celeste, if you have a question, if you raise your hand, go ahead, Celeste. You're good to go.
I was just gonna say, Herbie, more pickles for you.
yep, but too many pickles. I've got like this huge jar now, and yeah. All right. So if anybody wants some pickles, let me know. Okay. So now that that's done, we've got to get to the other part of the seasoning, or the batter rather, while things are marinating. So we need 1 cup milk, 1 egg. Oh, I was going to say, but so today we did raise an interesting question because it used to be what came first, the chicken or the egg, and now we're asking what comes first, the chicken or the pickle juice. So, yeah. Anyway, we need 1 cup milk, 1 egg, 1 cup flour, 2 tablespoons powdered sugar, 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 teaspoon salt, half teaspoon black pepper, chili powder, garlic powder, which I discovered I don't have any of, so I'll have to get that for next week, but we'll survive. Onion powder, and canola oil for frying. Okay. So I'm going to start with the dry ingredients. And I want to do the wet ingredients last. So, you know what? I am going to do mixing bowls just because that is the easiest to work with and overall the least messy option. So, let's see if I can find my mixing bowls now. There's one. Alright, you can find the other one in a little bit. Okay, so I need my measuring cup. And the other advantage of doing the dry ingredients first is now when I'm ready for the cup of milk, I can use the same measuring cup that I used for the flour because I'm just pouring the milk into it. Maybe slightly wash it out first, but alright, my flour, as I've mentioned before, comes in a container that I transferred the bag into. So I just open the lid after I take it down from the cupboard. I use my cup to scoop. And we can do a little bit more. That does not say anything about whether the flour should be packed or not, but with this, you just want to make sure you do have a lot of flour because you want the batter. Okay. And just so you know, Diane, we hear you coughing and all that, so if you're able to mute, that would be very good. And let's get that thing put back up. And I'm also hearing somebody's speech. So, yeah. Alright. Now that that's done, we need our powdered sugar. So, how do we know which is powdered sugar? Great question. Well, first of all, I should get my 2 tablespoon measure out. Powdered sugar feels very different than your regular sugar. It's a different type of substance. And there we go. There's my measuring spoons. So it feels more spongy. And that's how we can tell it's powdered sugar. It comes in a bag similar to your brown sugar. It comes in the US, and I understand regular sugar might come in the same type of bag in other countries. But here in the US, it's definitely... Okay, so it's 2 tablespoons, I think. So, or did it say 2 teaspoons? Oh, crap. No, I don't remember. Let's go back and check our recipe real quick. Because we don't want to disaster. Yep, 2 tablespoons powdered sugar. Okay, perfect. And this is the first time I've ever put it in anything. I'm used to putting it on stuff like donuts, but... there we go. I'm just pouring that into the bowl. And then we bang the spoon to get the excess off. And... we're going to put that bag back up. And remind myself what I actually need next, because that's kind of important. Let's see, and I'm hearing somebody in the background. Don't mean to be picky, but this is being streamed, so... So... now we need I think I just had it in my head a minute ago after I just saw it. Okay. Paprika, that was it. That's it. Okay. 1 tablespoon of that. And then I think we need a half teaspoon of salt. Or was it a full teaspoon of salt? Let's see here. Oh, 1 teaspoon salt. Okay. And then it's a half teaspoon of black pepper. Very good. Okay, so let's find our paprika. I think what I've got here is my chili powder, actually. So let's just go ahead and take care of that first, because I can. Because we need it anyway. Half teaspoon of that. So I'm just going to take the lid completely off the container, off the chili powder, and pour it into the bowl. Simple as that. And how do I know it's chili powder? By smelling it. And it smells like chili. So I could also use my phone to scan it. if I felt so inclined. Ooh, cayenne pepper. I could put some of that in there. Woo, woo, boy. We won't, but that is some good stuff. Okay. Cayenne, of course, would make it very spicy. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, paprika. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So, yeah, we have eureka and then paprika. And paprika is one of those nice things that if you end up doing too much, it's not the end of the world. But we just need a half teaspoon of that. Oh no, we need a full teaspoon. So let's do another measure. Okay, there we go. I'm losing my mind. Well, I've already lost it, but that's okay. Don't tell anybody. Let's see here. And then I'm just kind of washing off the seasonings as we go off my hands. And now we are going to deal with our salt next. Why not? So I've finally got a real thing of salt that I can use for measuring purposes. And this we just want a teaspoon of. And we have to be careful because this you can overdo. And, okay, that is done. So now I just need to find my black pepper and my onion powder. The canola oil, obviously, that goes into the pan. And all that. Alright, so real quick, Jan, start thinking about raising your hand as we're going to get to your question in just a little bit. So if you're able to do that, then that'll be good. Okay, whew. Pepper, definitely can tell it's pepper because you start to sneeze. And this definitely have to be very careful with. So just scooping a little bit of that. Again, this pepper, there's pepper that comes in the pepper shaker. I actually found pepper in an actual spice bottle, so that's what I am using. But now my onion powder, and I got lucky. I got my mom labeled a lot of my spices recently, and that makes life a whole lot easier. Onion powder. Okay. It's, I tell you, if you want a reason to read Braille, it is, we can do many things with our phones and stuff, but reading Braille labels is still the quickest way to find something, in my opinion. And I don't like reading Braille books myself, but I do like Braille labels. So those really come in handy. So that is my personal, and I like writing in Braille, but I've been a big fan of Braille menus, honestly. Now that I can just read them on my phone, I will read them if that was the only option, but you can just nowadays pull up Uber Eats or DoorDash and read the restaurant menu that way. And
And I'm just letting you know you have 3 raised hands.
all right, we will get to them in just a second. I am going to stir this up. So if we do have other raised hands, if Jan has hers raised, call on her last, because hers is going to take us into a completely different realm. So that's how I will need you to do things. So, and of course, if you have any questions about what we doing, you can ask that first, and then we'll get to your other question, and that'll be a topic that if anybody's able to weigh in on, that'll be brilliant. Okay. Let me wash up here, and let's get to our first hand.
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Hey, so if you don't have garlic powder, I was assuming you could just crush some garlic cloves and add it to your marinade, and then you still get the flavor of the garlic.
I thought about that. It's a slightly different flavor, and I don't know what it
Yeah.
would. I think we'll survive without it today, but good point. Yes. I don't know what that'll do to the overall batter too, because crushed garlic is not quite the same as powder.
Yeah, that's why I said put it in the marinade instead of the breading.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, who else?
Celeste.
Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about boil labels, and I like boil labels too. I have them on several pill bottles in the medicine cabinet. Like if I need to find the Advil, it's in a boil label bottle. And when it comes to not getting ingredients, well, I guess I'm gonna have to give you the rule for getting that onion powder.
Garlic powder. Now who's getting the rule? Because it's garlic powder I didn't have, not onion powder. I have onion powder. It's not garlic powder. So, gotta get it right. All right. Yes, braille labels are very useful things, not just for the kitchen, but yep, for medicine bottles. I think you braille label like your DVD collection, if anybody remembers what DVDs are. The older CDs, cassettes, things like that. And if you want to learn more about braille, we do have several braille calls. And we have I Love Braille every Thursday at 12. But a very important call is the Braille call every Sunday and Tuesday that Dorland does at 6 p.m. Eastern. And you can learn Braille. You can help others learn Braille. And it's also a place where you can go to talk about e-readers as well. And we will talk more about that later on if time permits. So just some Braille options that, you can go read Braille and say, hey, I want to learn how to read Braille so I can Braille label things so I can do cooking. There you go. And that's how you link calls here that might seem unrelated. All right, who is our next hand?
256 ending in 940.
Jessica, I do believe.
Hello, this is Jessica.
Yep.
I was wondering, are these pretty much the same as a regular Chick-Fil-A sandwich? They sound pretty good. And then plus, from what I understand, I heard that you can buy like spice bottles with Braille already on them. I don't know if that's true or not. Is it true?
I don't know that you can do that. That's an interesting question. I want to say you can't, but there might be places that will sell you pre-labeled bottles. Now in the UK, you can actually find products that have Braille already on them, but we do not have that over here, unfortunately. So. All right. Who is next?
Jan, you're up.
All right.
Are you ready for me, Herbie?
I'm ready for you.
So I had asked, I'm curious about making professional grade chocolates, and I was wondering if anybody had any advice.
All right. So I'm going to first of all defer to the audience here and see if anybody has anything on this particular subject for professional chocolate. So do you have any, are you following any particular recipes or anything like that, or are you just trying to figure out how to do it?
I am just at the very beginning. I always try to think of a new adventure, and that's the one I thought about for today. So I thought, well, I'm going to give it a shot.
So definitely, like the brand of cocoa you use would be important.
That's true.
That would definitely factor. There are things like actual professional molds you can get to pour in the ingredients, like especially like a hot liquid if you're wanting them to be shaped in a certain way. If you're doing anything that requires melting chocolate, I would get a double boiler, and I would probably use actual baking chocolate like squares, not the chocolate chips.
That I wouldn't have known. Okay, thank you.
So those are some things that I can think of off the top of my head. You can probably also, if you have a smartphone or a computer, you can probably also ask the chat bots. They make the AIs useful for something for a change. So like Chat GPT, Gemini, Alexa. So those and
Thank you, Herbie.
You're welcome. And Google, of course, there's old-fashioned Google. I never thought I'd be saying old-fashioned Google.
It is kind of old-fashioned now.
It is. I mean, why bother researching something when you can have the machines do it for you? So, oh dear. I never thought the day would come. But anyway. All right. Also,
we have Diane with the raised hand as well.
Okay, so before we get to Diane, which maybe we'll have an answer to your question in Clubhouse, for anybody listening on the stream, if you have any advice for Jan, if you're able to find the Zoom link in the daily email and come on, that would definitely be great. You can also join the Cooks List, ACB-Cooks, plus subscribe at acblists.org. And send advice that way, and we'll pass it on to Jan. Now, Jan, does community have your contact info?
Sorry, I muted again. I believe that Cindy has my info, and I think Michael does too.
Okay, so then another thing you can do is then, folks, is if you email community@acb.org and ask to be in contact with Jan, and pass on your advice to her that way, then you can do that as well, if that's okay with you, Jan.
That's perfectly great. I appreciate any help I can get.
Herbie, I'm thinking there's more than one Jan in the community. So, Jan, if you want to use an identifying way.
How do we know it's you?
Yeah.
My last name is the easiest. My last name is Friend, Friend. That's
Jan
the easiest
Friend.
way to find me.
All right. So, Jess, you want to be a friend of Jan or Jan's friend, and you're good to go. All right. Perfect. Good point, because we do have Janet Wright, who's never wrong, and yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, we have a few.
All right. Thank you, Jeanette. And, of course, I guess Jan could also be short for Jeanette, too. Well, it's spelled differently, but anyway. Poor Jeanette. Okay, let's get to Diane. Who have we got?
Actually, we don't have anyone, but I had a comment, if
right.
I might. I hoped it might help. When I was in college, I lived in a sorority house, and a couple of our sisters took an adult education course on candy making at the local, vocational school. And oh my goodness, they used to make candy for us in the house, and it was absolutely delicious. But that might be an option of a place to check, see what might be offered in your area for adult education.
In my college would probably define adult education as something very different than candy, and you have to be at least 21. But anyway. Yeah, definitely a good point there, Diane. So there might be some culinary courses you could take. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, do we have anybody else?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, Google. How much time is left?
T-minus 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
All right, so that gives us time to at least get the oil ready and our wet ingredients too. So let's start with the wet ingredients. I just need a shallow bowl for this because it's going to be a bit easier to work with. Although, yeah, we can use a shallow bowl. Okay. So the first thing I need is the milk. You all, I'm sure, know what kind of container the milk comes in. It moves, and there's 4 different... that's the original source of the milk. What we want is the stuff that comes in a bottle that's been pasteurized and all that good stuff. Ooh, I just poked myself on a potential splinter there. Fun. Okay. Bumps and bruises cooking. That's how it goes. So I've got my measuring cup. I'm going to take the lid off the milk. This is a brand new container from the one I had last week because I don't know when that expired. And there, that is now poured into the mixing bowl. And next we are going to get 1 egg. That you definitely know what it comes in. It comes in these containers that have holes in them that are very fragile. Why they make them so fragile when eggs break so easily, I don't know. But that could be a new marketing venture. A break-proof egg container that's cheap enough. So if people are wanting something to experiment with, then that could be it. So, okay, I'm getting the egg out of the container, and of course the egg itself is in the shell. So we're just going to crack it very carefully on the side of the bowl. And this egg only needed 1 crack. I'm splitting the shell apart, letting the egg come out in the middle, putting that in the garbage, as our apartment does not allow for eggshells to be put in the garbage disposal, and it looks like that's a bad idea in general because it can actually damage your garbage disposal, so don't put eggs in there. Now we need the whisk to put them together. There's the whisk. And we want this to be a smooth mixture. And now we are going to get the oil ready and heating up. So this is just a regular canola oil. I always thought they used peanut oil, actually. And because I know they do for their fries, but maybe they don't for their chicken. Hey, Google, stop. But then they also probably use a deep fryer also, not a pan fryer, so that matters. So I'm just pouring some oil into the pan, and we are going to let it heat up. And right now I'm going to set it to high because I need it to get heating up, and I think, I forget if it says to use high or medium high. I'll check in a minute. Let's get the kitchen fan on. And we will get the chicken out in a minute. It can sit for a little bit more longer because it does say half an hour to an hour anyway, so it gets a little bit more to absorb some of the flavor. So it says about 1 inch of oil, by the way, if you're wondering. So it just says fry in the hot oil, so I'm going to leave this on high. And we'll give it a couple minutes to get ready, and then I am going to, first of all, untangle a wire. Hopefully I don't go away, but if I do, it's because... Oh, we're good. Okay. All right. So, and then what we are going to do is after this is done, we're going to put it on the hamburger buns and serve. And you, of course, are responsible for your own condiments. And if you've ever gone to a Chick-fil-A, they don't actually put the condiments on it ahead of time. You actually have to get them from their sideboard thing. And yeah. Okay, so what we are going to do is get our pickle juice chicken thingy out of the fridge. We can shake it up just a little bit because, well, marinate it slightly a bit better. And what we want to do is pat the chicken dry and then place it in the milk and egg mixture first, then the flour. And we want to kind of press it into the flour mixture, and then we are going to fry it.
Not hearing anything. Turn up volume. Not hearing anything.
So what I need now is some paper towels. And how will I know when my oil is hot? Well, when it starts sizzling, that is a very good indicator that it's ready to go. But I know just from experience it's going to be about 3 minutes from when I turn it on the heat. And of course the temperature of the burner is going to affect the readiness of the oil too. If you have it lower, it's going to take longer. And I think we can start working on our chicken mixture. So I'm going to take the first chicken breast out. And pat it dry. Just by putting the paper towel over it. And then we're going to put in mixture number 1. The milk and egg mixture. Now our flour mixture. And make sure it's well coated on both sides. And then we're going to make sure the paper towel is nowhere near the hot pan, because that is a fire hazard, and then place that into the hot oil. And we've got enough mixture here that we're going to have no problem with our chicken breast. Okay. So now I'm going to place the second chicken into the pan. Does it matter which way you have the chicken breast facing? Probably not. I have the part that's a little bit, how to describe it, because the chicken breast feels differently on each side. So I have the flat side down. That's typically how I cook things first, is flat side. Hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes. 3 to 4 minutes on each side, so we'll set the timer for 3 minutes, and by the time I get to the timer, it'll be 4 minutes. Okay, do we have any questions?
We do. First up is Julie.
Julie.
Hey, good morning. So this one was related to Jan's question about chocolate. So I don't know if you want me to wait until you're done with what you're doing, but I do have a couple of suggestions.
All right, well, just double checking something here. Okay, no email comments today. I'm impressed. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so, my effort wasn't professional, but I did have one year where I made chocolate peanut clusters in a slow cooker and actually gave them out for holidays to people. And I did it all in a slow cooker, like all the melting and like everything. And then I shaped them myself once it was all completed. But there's a lady on YouTube, and I can't remember her last name, but her first name is Emma. So if you were to look up like slow cooker peanut clusters with Emma, you'll probably find her. And that is her thing that she does professionally, is make chocolate. So, it's a lot of work, but it was definitely doable. So I was just going to offer that if it might be helpful.
Excellent. All right, very good. As we're learning how to make professional chocolates on the call here today. Very good. Okay. Anybody else?
Petra.
Petra.
Yeah, Herbie, didn't the recipe call for water?
No.
No water.
Nope, no water.
Okay. And I would think you'd be able to do this in an air fryer.
You probably could. I might use like a layer of parchment paper because you're going to be dealing with wet ingredients, so I wouldn't do it directly in the air fryer basket myself. And might take a little bit longer. Don't know how it'll taste compared to doing it in traditional oil.
Okay. And the last question is, you put you pat the chicken dry, and then you do the wet ingredients and then the dry?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And just enough, in most recipes that require dipping, you'll usually do the wet first and then the dry. So that is fairly typical. So, yeah. Okay. Perfecto. Who is next?
Celeste.
Yes, ma'am.
I was thinking you would mix the wet and dry ingredients, and
Hey,
then
Google,
just have
stop.
and then just put the chicken into the batter of it all mixed.
That's a great question. I've never seen a recipe for a batter that has you do that. It's always put your chicken or whatever in the wet ingredients first and then roll it in the dry. So I've never seen a batter recipe that calls for you to mix both and then make your coating. So there's probably some kind of scientific reason and that I missed back in 3rd grade science. But
May I?
You may.
Okay. So the reason you don't do that is because your dry ingredients would clump and you want them to coat the chicken. So the wet ingredients help the chicken stick.
Excellent.
And I've tried it, so I know it doesn't work. And you have 2 more hands.
All right. Well, Jeanette, unlike me, took 3rd grade science, but like me, probably got an A in her science fair projects. All right. Let's. I just flipped the chicken over, by the way, before we get to our other hands. And hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes. And I like to use a double spatula for flipping purposes. You just you scoop the bottom part underneath what you're flipping. You clamp it down with the top part, and then you pick it up and you flip, and you don't have to do any balancing. Okay, let's get to our other hands.
Diane has somebody in Clubhouse.
Actually, that somebody is me again, and when I used to dip Joe's cauliflower when he used to make fried cauliflower, and he always used flour, then the wet ingredients, and then panko breadcrumbs. And so he always had me dip in the flour first, then in the wet ingredients, and then in the panko breadcrumbs.
Yes, so there's an air fryer chicken fried steak that we did on this call that works like that. But, okay, so now we know the next thing that you're going to present on the call is doing fried cauliflower. This is very important and needs to be fully investigated, because what better way to eat cauliflower than to fry it, if you ask me. And we can also talk about air fryer cauliflower, too.
Sounds good.
All right, excellent. All right, who's next?
Karen.
Good morning. And that's what I was going to say. Usually when you do the assembly line, kind of what it's called, the flour mixture in one and then the egg in the other. After you pat your protein or whatever you're going to fry, after you pat it dry, you do a quick little dredge in the flour and you shake off all the excess flour. Then you put it in your wet ingredients and make sure it's wet, and then go back to your flour mixture and make sure you've got it good covered on there. Shake off the little bit of excess. It won't be much, probably. That way it fries up a little bit better, and the dry to wet to dry actually helps it stick better. That's all I had. Thank you.
All right, yep. This recipe, of course, it doesn't actually call for that, but I'm very familiar with the concept. There are some recipes that I do that definitely call for double coating. So, yes, I'm definitely familiar with that concept for sure. Excellent. So great questions, guys. See, guys, if you ask the questions, then you get the answers. But otherwise, if you don't, then you don't know. And I was telling somebody on here last week, there's no such thing as a silly question. Hey, Google, stop. So brilliant. I love it. Okay. Real quick, do we have any raised hands?
We do not.
Okay, so if you have any raised hands, just hang tight. If you do raise your hand, I will get to you, I promise. I do love you. Most of you, anyway. No. I'm going to now put the assembled chicken on a plate. And we're going to sample one of them. And make sure that it turned out good and fully cooked and all that. It does taste like Chick-Fil-A. Wow. All right. So, this is pretty well coated just with a single coating. Right, I tell you what, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to wash my hands. Can't be too clean in the kitchen, because we don't want germs to spread. And Diane, what is our current time, by the way?
Let's see. 10? Uh-oh, it's 10:57.
Oh, I am so sorry. Okay. Real quick on the stream side, we have to go, but this is looking delicious. In fact, I will take a quick bite by cutting one of these into half with a knife. But don't forget, if you've not joined community, there's nothing stopping you other than you. Just send an email to community@acb.org and ask to be added to the community call mailing list. Just give them your name and email address. They will do that. It's a low traffic list. And you'll be squared away. You'll be able to get the Zoom info for all the calls that are happening. And later on in Media One, we do have one that happening. Okay, I can tell that this one actually does need a little bit more time. Good thing I looked. So make sure you join us for that, as we would love to have you. So make sure you do that if you want to. And of course, we're still on Zoom here for a little bit more time. Hey Google, set timer for 1 minute. Okay, this one did fully cook. Yeah, this does taste like Chick-Fil-A. Wow. I'm impressed. So, guys, if you want Chick-fil-A at home, this is how you can do it. But we are still on Zoom and Clubhouse for another half hour. Probably won't go, I don't know how long we'll go. If we'll go the full half hour or not. But I will go over what to expect on the next week. It'll be orange chicken. That's right. So that I can tell you, and we'll go over the feature calls in just a little bit. Delish. Hey Google, stop. Okay. I think I could have used a little bit less salt. That would be my only complaint. But, very good.
Stopping the stream.
Alright, goodbye! Now for everybody else. We've got more chicken to make. So now we're going to hop to it. And I'm going to get other stuff cooking while we're cooking the chicken. So I forgot to get a new paper towel. Let's do that real quick.
And we do have raised hands.
All right. If you can wait just a minute, we will get to you. So let us get to our chicken here. And we've got 2 more pieces of chicken to get to. I should have tried to make these a bit thinner. Actually, let's see if I can do that one. So I'm patting down some more of the chicken here with my palm of my hand. This is not the most scientific way of doing it, but I'm trying to think it'll work better if it's just a little bit thinner. So maybe almost cut it without even intending to. Alright, we'll try the double coating because I need to use up more of the mixture. So let's see what I think about making these a bit on the extra crispy side of things. Okay. This will definitely use up what we have. So we're going to do some fries in the air fryer to go along with this. And then I'm also going to do some green beans. So that's what is on tap in the Allen household this morning. If you are wanting breakfast from here. Alright, that's now on the thing. Hey Google. Hey Google. Set timer for 3 minutes. Alright, let's get to our questions.
All right. Ibrahim.
Ibrahim.
Hey, so the 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar seemed like an awful lot. You don't find it overly sweet?
No, I don't taste any sugar in this whatsoever, so I think it affects the chemistry of the batter.
Okay.
And Celeste.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. First of all, I'm gonna comment that I like it when you're able to complete a recipe within these calls, so we can find out how it came out. You can taste it. And secondly, when you took your sample bite, you put it on the buns, right?
No. I haven't gotten to that part yet.
Oh.
But we're going to talk about that in just a minute. All right.
And one more hand, Julie.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Abraham actually asked the question I was going to, but I was going to ask if he could taste the powdered sugar or the pickle juice on that because that's the first time I've heard of frying with either of those ingredients. So
I definitely can tell the pickle juice a little bit. But not the sugar at all. All right. I had to sample these to make sure about the sugar aspect. No, I don't taste any. Okay. So frozen fries is what's on the cards today. And we're going to put those in the air fryer. So the buns, of course, are just typical hamburger buns. Hey, Google, stop. I will put some mayonnaise on them because you need mayonnaise. You can't just eat these dry. On the buns, that is. And we'll get to that in just a second. Set timer for 10 minutes. So I'm using my watch as a timer for the air fryer. And that way I have two separate timers so I know what is what. Where did my spatula go? There it went. Hey Google. Hey Google. Set timers for 3 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes. Starting now.
Okay. So, let's get the buns ready here for batch number 2. And I need a plate.
Herbie, you might want to check your timer because I think Google said 30 minutes.
I was wondering that actually. Oh well, I'll just keep tabs on it.
I've got it. I know when you started.
Yep. Alright, this is actually, yeah, pretty good. So, hamburger buns, well, you know what they come in? They come in a plastic bag with a little, In this case, zip tie on them. So we're going to get the wifes ready. And I'm going to put a bun on a plate. And we're going to take the bun into its two halves. And then I'll get my bun from my other patty a little bit later on. Now we will get out the jar of mayonnaise. And we're going to put that in Chanel's case on both sides of the, on both of the buns. And to do that, we just need a spoon. So we're going to put a dollop on one half of the bun. Now the other bun will get its dollop.
Kirby, that's about your 3 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So put the spoon back in the jar. I really should put these on paper towels to dry, so I'm going to get on a new plate. And that'll do better. The plate with the buns is a different plate altogether, so. Alright. I'm going to let these cook just a little bit longer, because it won't hurt anything to let them do that. Obviously, we don't want them to burn, but just getting a paper towel. I'm going to put the paper towel now on the plate. Hey Google, cancel timer. There, we will cancel that 30-minute timer that it's set. What I don't like is this pan is going to slide all over the burner. And I don't like that because, well, it's unstable, and I want it to stay in contact with the heat. Okay, so I do like the double crisping better for this recipe, I think. So now we're going to get the wife sandwich completely ready. And I'm getting another paper towel to do our last couple pieces of chicken. It doesn't look like we've made too much of a mess with this one today, so it's a fairly, depending on the bowls you're using, it can be a fairly straightforward one. And with our double coating, it'll definitely use up more of the mixture as well. Okay. And now we're down to our last piece of chicken. Some of these I probably could have cut up into smaller pieces as well. And that's okay. This is all getting used up. So I'm just dredging the mixture in the mixture, then the flour, then back in the milk, then back in the flour, as Karen suggested. After patting the chicken dry from the pickle juice and hey Google, set timer for 3 minutes.
Okay, 3 minutes. Starting now.
What do you know? It understood me.
And you have a raised hand.
All right, let's get to it.
Ibrahim.
Instead of frying it, could you air fry it? Do you think? You probably have to put some parchment paper down, but I think you could.
Yep. And we mentioned that a little bit earlier.
And that way, yeah, that way the pan wouldn't slide all over your stovetop.
What was that?
That way your pan wouldn't slide all over your stovetop.
Yep. Okay. Now that we're all tangled up, I'm all tangled up here in wires. Hopefully I don't go missing from... If I go missing, it's because I'm untangling wires and a disaster happened. Wires are not always a good thing in the kitchen, but... Oh, there's my watch going off for the frozen fries. Alright, so let's check on those. Whoa, okay, those are definitely hot, but they are done. Okay. I'm going to do the green beans once this is done. So, last thing we need for the wife's sandwich is American cheese. Well, the chicken patty itself, of course, but... So I'm going to put that on the bun. And I have parchment paper that fell on the floor. Okay, I know where that's from. So now let's go grab us a chicken patty. And just like that, we have an assembled sandwich. Now I will assemble my sandwich, which we will do the mayonnaise as well. Hey Google, stop! I think I'm going to make this actually 4 minutes. I think it'll do a little bit better just looking at these. Hey Google, set timer for 1 minute. All right. So next week it's going to be orange chicken, and then I think we get Heidi in the kitchen, but I will double check in just a little bit as to what we've got. Hey Google, stop.
And Herbie, I'm just letting you know it's 11:20.
All right. So let us go take a look at what I've got coming up next. Hey Google, set timer for 4 minutes. Okay. So let's see, make sure I don't have any comments in the email side of things. Oh, we do. Jonathan wants to know, how did I know which timer went off for me? Because I used my watch timer for the air fryer and the Google timer for the pan frying. And okay, Jonathan letting me know that it's William's birthday, which I already knew.
Herbie? Oh, there you are.
And let's see here. So, no, don't worry. I'm not untangling wires. So, okay, taking a look at the remainder of February. Yep, orange chicken is going to be next week. So, looking forward to that. Orange, you glad you're not a chicken? Then in March. All right, a different Jan. Okay, so remember what we talked about with multiple Jans? So we've got cabbage and bean soup with jam. Popcorn chicken on the 10th with yours truly. Dark chocolate peanut butter cookies on the 17th. And we're open right now on the 24th, and then crispy chicken wings and onion rings on the 31st. So that is March. Mock lasagna with Jeanette. Hey, I know who Jeanette is. Yeah. So she's going to be on here on the 7th of April. Awesome possum. We're open on the 20th, 14th, but Moroccan chicken casserole. I came across this recipe the other weekend. That sounds interesting. So we're going to try that with me. And snickerdoodle bars. So you've got me cooking and baking over the next couple months. One baking, several cooking, and we have some guests as well. Just a reminder, also, we have our cooks list, ACB-cooks plus subscribe at acblists.org, and you can send a blank email to that and get subscribed by following the instructions. It'll tell you to reply, and you'll be good to go. So, what will you get in the cooks list? Well, you get the entire recipes, actually. And I will post it to the list. Also, I do have the folder that I will post from time to time that includes the recipes that I've done, pretty much the majority of them, all in text files, so you can read them on any device with no problem whatsoever. And yeah, so this is looking good. I want to thank everybody for coming today. Jeanette for hosting, Diane for connecting us, and Heidi, well, she was able to be here for co-facilitating, and everybody else for their questions or for just listening. I definitely appreciate each and every one of you. And as you can hear, we definitely do take some considerations, as we've got a couple of vegan options coming up, and I'll be exploring a couple more that we could do as well. Computer stop. Hey Google, stop. Whatever my device is. I never know. Anyway. Alright. So with that, we will actually end this thing. I'm going to go turn off my pan. We actually got completed with the recipe by right before the call ended. Who knew we could actually do that? I'm impressed. Okay.
Any last minute questions before Herbie tells me to end the room? Now is your chance.
Yep. Not hearing any? Alright, well, on that note then, Jeanette, Diane, you may end the rooms.
All right, Herbie, have a great day. Thank you all. Ending the room.